Welcome to Crimepedia. I am your host, Morgan. And with me, as always, is my lovely co-host. She's a big fan of Christmas. It's Cherry.
Hello. Yes, I am a big fan of Christmas. I love Christmas. This is our official last episode before Christmas too.
Yeah.
I know, I can't believe it. This time next week, Christmas will be over.
It's our last episode of the year.
No, because we've got one on the 29th.
Oh, we do. You're right.
Yeah, so there is one more before the new year.
That doesn't really count, though.
It's not a proper episode, though, is it, that one?
No.
That's just going to be fun and mischief.
Well, this one's going to be fun, too.
Yeah. This is a bit different to our normal episodes. So we've not got one case this week. We've got quite a few cases. We're going to do the 12 murders of Christmas for you.
Ooh, it should be exciting. And so in addition to 12 Murders of Christmas, we have a special guest with us. It's our good friend Jason from Santa Maybe, a Criminal podcast. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Great. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. Thank you.
Santa's definitely not a criminal.
Yeah, I mean, you have to stick around and find out. I mean, he's there are a lot of things that could be construed as criminal activity in his activities. So
I'm a Team Santa. Team Santa all the way.
I've got that shirt on actually.
Oh my God! Look at that Team Santa shirt. I love that. That is cool.
So, Jason, for those that are not familiar with Santa Maybe, how about you give us a quick little rundown of the podcast and what people should expect when they listen?
Sure. Yeah. So, Santa Maybe a Criminal is a true crime satire podcast that follows an amateur podcaster who is sort of thrust into action when Santa Claus is arrested in his hometown in the South. Mm-hmm. And he decides that he wants to take it upon himself to get to the bottom of whether or not Santa is guilty of the crimes in which he is, alleged to have committed. And with a bias toward he loves Christmas more than anything in the world, and he wants to save Christmas. So he is trying to prove Santa is innocent. And the show is sort of a loving send up of true crime podcasting, true crime shows, mm-hmm. the South, Christmas, all these different subjects. And so it's a lot of fun. I think it's a laugh, and we're having a good time doing it.
It is really
good. It is an amazing podcast.
It's really good.
It is beautifully produced.
Yes.
You do an amazing job with it.
Oh, thank you so much. It means a lot coming from you guys. And, Morgan, I know I talked to you about it sort of briefly out in Vegas at CrimeCon last year. And mm-hmm. You were one of the early supporters, and encouragers of it. So I sincerely appreciate that from you and everything. So thank you.
Oh, no, not a problem. When you told me about it, I was really excited for it. It's crazy that is here now. It seems like I've been waiting forever for you to release it. But here it is.
It's here. That's right. It's in your stocking right now. So there are 12 episodes of the season of the first season. There are plans for a second season right now, as well as some spinoffs. So there's a lot of stories in this universe and ways to take these characters, and I'm excited about it. And I think that people who are listening who like true crime podcasting and podcasters, including someone that's on this call right now, this meeting right now, should check it out, because you'll get to hear some of your favorite voices playing characters in this show. So it's fun.
It is. It's really good fun. I think it's quite a nice different podcast to listen to as well, especially now listen to it around Christmas time. It's just very fun and it's very cleverly written. I do think some of the jokes in there are very, very clever. And I do like the little, definitely like I've said before and when we were talking just a minute ago, wear your earphones or wear headphones when you're listening, because there are little things that you can hear in the background that are ever so funny that you don't hear if it's sort of on loudspeaker. So definitely check that out. It's a brilliant podcast.
And if I could real quick, I'd like to shout out Captain Fat Hands for sending over some music, some sort of atmospheric sort of things that I'm using, and and just there's this community. We were talking about this off mic a few minutes ago. The community is so true crime podcasting community is largely so collaborative and encouraging and that sort of thing, and I've found so much support and people like interested in wanting to be a part of this, and so it's just been a lot of fun and something that I hope will continue throughout the year. As I said, as I've written in an upcoming episode, Christmas is a versus state of mind, because it's Santa Claus versus the state, but it really is a state of mind. It's not just necessarily for a season, but you can be kind to people always. So
yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited to see where this season goes, and I can't wait to see what you have in store for us next.
It's going to be exciting.
Awesome.
I think I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
So Jason, how about we keep you around and you help us out with our cases this week?
I'd love to.
So as Cherry mentioned, for this week is a little different because we are doing the 12 Murders of Christmas. All right, Cherry, so what do you have for us first here?
Okay, so number 1 is a grim gift left under the Christmas tree. When 37-year-old Patty White offered down-on-her-luck Michelle O'Dowd a place to stay over the festive period, Michelle was delighted at the Christmas spirit that was being shown to her. But Patty White had an ulterior motive. One of them involved stealing all of her new housemate's credit cards, then killing her and leaving her amongst a trashed Christmas tree to look like a bungled burglary. Where's her Christmas spirit? So the scene was discovered by Michelle's twin brother Phil, who went to check in on her after she failed to show for work. And there, underneath the Christmas tree, with all the Christmas presents, he saw his sister's foot. Oh, that's horrific, isn't it?
Was there a stocking on it?
Oh.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Now, unfortunately, Patty had beaten and strangled the 67-year-old and left her among all the presents. But the good news is that she received a 45-year sentence from South Carolina's judge for her awful crime at Christmas.
Wow.
Ooh.
I'm glad she got caught. I mean, why would you even think of doing something like that? Going to steal all your stuff and then just kill you and leave you under the Christmas tree. That's just horrendous.
That's terrible.
It's terrible.
That's terrible.
Yeah. South Carolina is my neighbor to the north too. So
are they bad down there?
I don't know. So, sometimes some of them are. Obviously,
there's some dodgy ones down there.
All right. So our second one comes from Victoria, Australia, where a couple stab a man in face. They bash his skull in and set him light on Christmas Day in a Kill Bill plot. Okay, so it's Christmas Day 2013, but instead of spending the day with his loved ones, William Bill Stevenson pays the ultimate price for keeping poor company, as his friends, both meth addicts, Danielle Kerr and Darren Lewis, kill him in one of the most violent ways conceivable. Their motives are not entirely clear. The pair drove Stevenson out to the bushland and began beating him about the head with a large rock. Kerr then stabbed the man to death while cackling about their Kill Bill plans. The couple then set the car alight and casually walked home. Thankfully, they would both be arrested, charged, and convicted soon afterwards.
That is, I think their motive is actually quite clear. That's just they're meth addicts, aren't they? So it's obviously that's a clear motive to me.
Because why would you burn the car and then walk home?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just use the car to drive home? Come on, people.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's just mad, isn't it? It's like the things that people. I mean, that really, what do they actually get out of that? Not very much.
No, not at all.
That's horrible. Just crazy, isn't it?
Right.
Okay,
all right, Jason, what do you have?
All right, okay, so so this is from Dayton, Ohio.
Ooh.
Marvelous teen gang indulges in sickening festive killing spree. This is pretty intense. So there were 4 of these people. They call themselves the Downtown Posse. But to the police, the ages were 16, 17, 20, and 19. So kids.
Yeah.
Laura Taylor, DeMarcus Smith, Heather Matthews, and Marvelous Keen, which is the Marvelous Teen Gang.
Yeah.
So between Christmas Eve and Boxing Day in 1992, they went on a murder spree, as I said, in Dayton, Ohio. And that would result in 5 innocent people dying and 4 more seriously injured. And they were murdered for not liking a gift enough. So, led by Marvelous Keen, the gang's primary motive was robbery. But soon things got out of hand as Marvelous grew paranoid about the snitches in the group and effectively turned the holiday season into hunting season. So for his central role in the killings, Keen would go on to become the 10,000th American convict to be executed since the death penalty was reinstated in 1976. His cohorts just received life sentences in this, so pretty brutal.
Really young
9
as
total
well.
Victims, 5 dead. Gosh.
Yeah. 16 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oof.
That's horrible. Okay, so number 4, we've got search for missing Bristol woman turns to a hunt for her killer. Now, I think we talked about Joanna Yates. She disappeared a week before Christmas in 2010, and this was in Bristol in the south of England. On Christmas Day, unfortunately, her body was found in the snow 3 miles away from her home. And this one, I remember this one, and I remember that the police were sort of criticised a lot for the handling of this case. They had her landlord, a guy called Christopher Jeffries, who was their first suspect. And then basically the press got hold of the fact that this Christopher Jeffries was the prime suspect, and he was everywhere in the news, and they labelled him the murderer without actually any concrete evidence or proof that he was the murderer. And then the neighbour, a guy called Vincent Tabak, was actually arrested and charged with her murder, but they kind of dropped Christopher Jeffries. There was no apology for the fact that everybody everywhere thought that he had killed her. And this poor guy, he was a bit crazy, he was eccentric. I would say that's a really good way to describe him. But when this neighbour got arrested and charged with her murder, there was no public I'm sorry, or it wasn't him or anything like this. Poor guy. And even now, if you go and have a look at the case and if you Google it, he still comes up as the first prime suspect. This poor guy had nothing to do with it and still gets it. Even now, if you go, because obviously on the internet nothing goes away, does it? It's all there for whenever. So yes, I forgot that was around Christmas. Actually, it surprised me it was Christmas time. Yeah.
Well, our next one you might have forgotten about. Have it around Christmas.
Yeah.
Jason, I don't know if you've heard about this one. This is the infamous child beauty queen murdered that still haunts America more than 2 decades later. That's right. It's the JonBenét Ramsey Christmas Day murder in 1996.
Rings a bell.
Now, of course, everyone remembers this one because it caused it was a media sensation across the United States and across the world, really. And we're still, decades later, and we're still talking about it to this day. So if you've been living under a rock since 1996, this is a case where 6-year-old JonBenét Ramsey was found murdered in her parents' basement. I'm not the captain and Nick, so I'm not an expert on it.
They're very into this case, aren't they?
They are very, very into this case.
Yeah.
But basically, this is one of those cases that people will debate on who did it, why they would do it, and how she ended up dead. Dead, lying on the ground. But I'm going to put Jason on the spot. Jason, tell us what happened right now. Who killed JonBenét Ramsey?
You know, I've wavered on this in many throughout the years, many ways. Obviously, at first I thought it was an inside the house job, but after listening to a lot of different podcasts and talking to people that are smarter than me, I do lean a little bit toward like an unknown suspect, not the family. Just because of, again, people that are smarter than me that you know have really delved into this case, and Nick and the captain did a really good job in this. You know, I think was it 2 years ago Christmas they did it, maybe.
Oh yeah, like
they
did like a 6-parter.
Yeah,
they did a long series on it. And you know, I know a few other people that have looked into it pretty extensively, and speaking to them, I lean toward you know, an intruder situation, and I'll probably get you know, made fun of. That's okay.
No, I don't know. Yeah, so typically you have the intruder theory, you have
the brother,
one of the parents doing it, you had the brother Burke doing it, and then I think the other one that everyone talks about is the Santa Claus, right?
Yeah.
Bill McReynolds, who played Santa.
He
played Santa Claus at the Christmas party that they had attended.
Yeah.
I think those are probably the names that you hear most often.
Sure.
I kind of lean towards the Burke did it.
Do you?
And I don't think if he did, I don't think it was like. I don't see it as something as premeditated or anything. Like he went out of the way. I look at it as he was. How old was he at the time? 9 or 10?
I don't know actually. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And when you're that old, you can little things can set you off, right? And you do things without thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe she ate the last piece of pineapple, whatever it was, right? And for some reason that pissed him off, and he hit her, and she ended up hurt or dead.
Oh, okay. And what? So you think maybe the parents have like covered it up,
yeah,
so that he, so that he doesn't get in trouble. Is that what you think kind of could have happened?
Because this is like this is my little story, right? It's not like I didn't kill anyone. But when I was like, probably around that age.
Yeah.
When I was around that age, I decided, I don't know what I was in trouble for. I was in trouble. And I decided I was going to run away.
And
so I got a backpack together. I put some clothes in. I put a map in.
Of course.
And I threw it. Of course I had a map. Threw out the window. And then I snuck out of the house. And I went and I got hedge clippers out of the garage because I figured that I would need hedge clippers in case I got stuck out in the woods and I needed to like cut my way through the branches and stuff. Well, anyways,
awesome.
I know.
When I come out of the garage, my sister is like looking through the backpack and she's like, I'm going to tell mom and dad. And without thinking, I took the hedge clippers and I swung and I hit her like in the elbow. Like I hit her really hard in the elbow, but then immediately I ran inside and I was yelling, "I didn't do it," to my parents. But the point being is, I didn't want to hurt her, but I still did it, right? I still swung and I still hit her.
Arguing with my brother, I threw a hammer at him once and it went.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was being really mean. I think I was about 13 and he still reminds me about it now. And he was really annoying me and I said to him, "That's enough." And then he just carried on. So I just didn't even think, just picked the hammer up and threw it and he ducked. Yeah. Luckily, he ducked and it went straight through our front door. And we had to explain to Mum when she came home from work how the front door was smashed. They do. So yeah, you're right. They do.
Without thinking.
Without thinking. Yeah. So you're right.
So who knows?
Yeah. I think that's a plausible theory. I mean, I really do think that's plausible. Or it could have been just he hit her not very hard. She fell and hit her head in a funny way, and it could have been something like that too.
I mean, I've read about this case, but it's not really a case that I know lots of people and lots of podcasts have done it. And I think that when you listen to so many different ones, you get so many conflicting ideas. Sure. And, one person will say one thing, you think, that could work. And then somebody else says something else that could work. And I think, this is a really difficult one. So I can't honestly say out of all of it, I'm leaning one particular way out of them. It's a really difficult one, I think. And I didn't realize it was 96. That was ages ago.
Yeah.
And it's still unsolved.
Yeesh.
Wow.
So insane.
Okay, so I'm going to take us to Edinburgh now. So
I think this was mine.
Oh, is this yours? Is it yours?
Can I do this one?
Yeah, you do this one.
I get, and the reason is because I actually went to Edinburgh when
cool.
I was in college, when I studied abroad across the pond. We went there, and it can have that sort of sinister looking, looks a little sinister, coming in as an American. So anyhow, an Edinburgh woman stabs neighbor 29 times over a Christmas present dispute. So be very careful what you give someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently she wasn't thrilled enough with this present. At least that's what 37-year-old Melissa Young told police when she was arrested for the brutal killing of her next-door neighbor, Alan Williamson. And this was on Christmas Day in 2013. Excuse me. So she later diminished responsibility and said that mental health issues were behind the sustained attack. But at the time, she said her motive was given as rage due to Mr. Williamson dismissively rejecting her Christmas present, which were a pair of unisex trainers and a copy of the Sun newspaper's quote, slightly raunchy 2014 calendar.
Oh,
that's why would he reject that, either of those things? Why would she kill him for it? Anyhow, so she pleaded guilty to culpable homicide in 2014 and was sentenced to a minimum of 20 years since she was jailed there at the women's prison HMT Cornton Vale in Stirling, which I'm aware of because of the movie Braveheart.
Yeah.
She has seriously assaulted 2 female prison officers, so it seems like she has a bit of a violent dispute. There's no word whether those assaults were due to Christmas presents.
One of those prison officers has new trainers.
Jason, you might not get this reference, but maybe, Cherry, maybe he was a Liverpool fan and he was offended by her giving him a copy of the Sun.
Maybe he was. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, so number 7, we have got a Christmas rampage for you. This was December 28th, 1987. A guy called Ronald Gene Simmons walked into a law firm in Russellville in Arkansas and shot dead a receptionist who he was infatuated with. Now, she had spurned his advances, so he shot her. That's crazy. He then went into the office of an oil company and shot 2 executives there, killing one and injuring the other. Then drove to a convenience store and a former place of work and shot 2 more people who luckily would both survive. He then did the same at the Woodline Motor Freight Company, shot and wounded a woman there, and then sat down and waited for the police to arrest him. So it's a bit strange. The spree killing, it says, rocks the state, but the murders were merely a bookend to Simmons' evil festive period. 6 days previously, he had shot and strangled his wife, 2 sons, and 4 daughters. He also sat in the house amongst the bodies for 4 days, only leaving to visit a local bar. Ooh. And then on Boxing Day, 9 more relatives turned up to visit the Simmons family, including Ronald Simmons' grandchildren, and all of them were killed. So in total, he ended up killing 16 people that Christmas.
Wow.
And then on the 25th of June 1990, the then governor, Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton, signed his execution warrant, and he was killed by lethal injection.
All because a receptionist rejected him.
I mean, that's crazy. What kind of... to kill so many people and to drive to so many different locations to do that, that's seriously...
Well, the other thing, too, is he was married right before.
Yeah.
With kids.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, like, the second round of killing, where he did the receptionist and then the oil company and then the convenience store and then the freight line or freight company. What if those were all on the same route? Like, he was, you know what I mean? Like, if it was just like, I'm just going to stop until I'm done, and then I'll I'm out of ammo, then I'll.
Yeah, it was I'd be interested to know whether he actually knew anybody in the oil company. Has he shot people that he actually knows? Because he went to the former place of work and shot 2 more people. So I wonder if these were people that he had grudges against, people that have really annoyed him over time. He's thought, right, he's just snapped and thought, right, I'm just going to go and kill all of them. But it's crazy that he killed all of the visitors to his house, including like his grandchildren and his kids.
That's horrible.
I mean, that's just awful.
There's 16 people.
It's crazy, isn't it?
That was really crazy.
Yeah. I'm going to look that one up a bit more. I haven't heard of that one either.
Yeah,
I might have a look into that one and see what more I can find out about that one. That's crazy. Whew.
Well, the next one is one that I have heard about, but I don't know too much about it. It's like one of those that you kind of hear in passing.
Yeah.
But it's the weird disappearance of the Sodder children in West Virginia. Okay. So on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1945, a fire destroyed the home of George and Jeannie Sodder in Fayetteville in West Virginia. Now, 9 of their 10 children also lived in the house, and 4 of the 9 children escaped the blaze together with their parents. Okay. However, the body of the other 5 children were never found, despite an extensive search in the burnt-out house.
Whoa.
So there were no remains in the house. So the question is, were the remains just missed in the ash? Were they completely disintegrated, or were they snatched before the house succumbed to flames? Now, there's a bunch of weird clues that go along with this case. For one, the telephone cables had been cut to the home. The vehicles on the property could not be started. There was a ladder on the house that had been removed or discarded.
Whoa.
Now, over the years, there were several potential sightings that were reported. And there was at least one photograph that was sent to the Sodder, who could have been one of their children. But to this day, no one knows what happened to the 5 Sodder children.
Wow, can you imagine though, abducting 5 children and trying to keep the identities of 5 children, a secret? That would be very difficult to do in real life. That would be very difficult to keep 5. It would. To keep. Obviously, they're all siblings. They all look alike. Looking for one missing child is going to be hard enough. Looking for 5 together, that's quite a different.
But why would you only take? Why, if you're going to snatch? Why? First off, how are you going to snatch 5 kids? Right?
Exactly.
That's But why, if there's 9, why do you just take 5 of them?
Yeah. Why the other 4?
Wild.
Are they all the same
strange.
Parents?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So they are. So it's not as if like there's, a dad somewhere that might want his kids back.
A custody dispute or anything.
Right.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all one same mom, same dad.
But then you say that, and then you look at the Madeleine McCann inquiry. There was 3 children asleep in that room that night, and they only took her. They didn't take all 3. They just took her.
That's true.
So,
but yeah.
Interesting.
It's a lot easier to take one kid.
Definitely.
Taking 5 kids?
5 of them. Yeah.
And here's the thing too. It's not like they were all young too. It's not like they were all like toddlers or anything. I mean, I think the oldest one is probably
9 kids. Wow. Can you imagine having 9 kids?
I think the oldest one was probably like 14, like a 14-year-old.
No way.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's crazy. I think the more likely explanation is that their remains have been missed, or think something's happened like that. I mean, we looked at that before about a body that would what would happen to it in the heat in severe flames.
Yeah. If the fire was hot enough,
you could possibly. Yeah, and they're only small, aren't they? They're children, so there's a possibility that that's what's happened there. But as a parent,
wouldn't you find a tooth or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, you'd think so, right?
Yeah, but as a parent, can you imagine not knowing? Are your kids? Are your kids actually alive somewhere and somebody's got them and loving them, or did you lose them? That must be awful not to know for sure.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Yeah, that is horrible.
That's crazy.
Oh, happy Christmas
I'll take
episode.
The next one, I guess.
Okay.
So this is going to talk about the first and last family photograph the Lawsons would have ever taken. So this is in North Carolina. North Carolina tobacco farmer Charles Davis Lawson made his wife Fanny and their 7 children put on their Sunday best for Christmas Day morning. And this was in 1929. So they were going to go into town and have a professional family photograph taken of them, which was a rare treat for such a poor family at that time. And later that day, after settling in back at home, he being Charles, would set about methodically beating and shooting his wife, along with 6 of the 7 children until they were dead. The child that was spared was the eldest son, who was 16. His name was Arthur, and Charles had sent him on a needless errand before the massacre. His motive was never determined. So,
whoa! You saved one of your children.
Yeah,
I wonder why. I wonder why he saved Arthur. I wonder if that's because he was 16 and he was a bit worried that he would be strong. Or maybe it was his favorite.
Because he was you can actually go and you can see the photo. The photo's out there on the interwebs, and the son was definitely a big boy.
Yeah,
he was probably taller than Dad was.
Yeah,
so, he would have had to fight him off.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I wonder if because he was so old, I wonder if that's why he's left him, sent him off, and then. But that's just crazy. That poor kid's lost his mum. It's all his brothers and sisters. And his dad's now going to go to prison for murder. He's just left alone. That's crazy. So okay, crazy. Number 10 for you is... you would give me the one where I have to look at the different pronunciations. Hopefully I pronounce this right. this is in London as well. So Christy Bamu was 15 when he was tortured and drowned in a bath by his own sister, Magali, and her twisted boyfriend, Eric Bickerby. That's what we're going to call him. So it was Christmas Day 2010 when the couple killed poor Christy after a sustained and brutal 4-day torture session in their flat in Newham. Like, what were the neighbours thinking? You can't torture somebody quietly. What the hell were the neighbours thinking was going on? When his body was found, he had more than 130 separate injuries. The excuse was that they believed that their younger brother was a witch, and Eric was ordered to serve at least 30 years in prison, while Magali received a minimum of 25 years for the brutal murder of her brother Christy. 15.
That's insane.
But like the neighbours, surely somebody must have. Where's the parents? If the kid's 15, where are the parents? If these 2 older kids are like 4-day torture, where's the mum and dad? They're all minors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and they say flat, so it's basically it's an apartment.
It's an apartment. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. There's going to be people, unless he was on the bottom or the top. There's going to be people up and above and down below them. So how did nobody hear anything? That's crazy.
That's horrible.
That is horrible. Poor guy. Poor Christy.
That is crazy.
I can't believe that.
All right, so next we have Stagger Lee in the seasonal showdown. So Lee Shelton was a known criminal and pimp who went by the name Stagger Lee. All right. Famous now because of the folk song that he would inspire, Shelton wasn't a man to be messed with, as William Billy Lyons would discover to his cost. This murder took place on Christmas night, 1895, in St. Louis, Missouri. Stagger and Billy were drinking and playing cards together in the Bill Curtis Saloon when, wouldn't you know it, they got into a dispute.
I love
Lyons
this.
snatched Stagger's Stetson hat and, well, you've seen the Westerns. Stagger Lee drew his gun, shot Lyons dead, and the rest is history. History and a song.
That's brilliant.
That is so like Wild Wild West.
Yeah. He took his Stetson. That's brilliant.
That's amazing.
Cherry, how long would you last in the Wild Wild West?
I'd want to. Well, probably not very long because I'd be like, just, I'd see something.
You would love
look at
it
that.
though.
Yeah, I would. I'd love it.
You'd have a cowboy hat on.
I would. I'd be a cowboy. I wouldn't
clothes.
I wouldn't be a saloon lady. I'd have a cowboy hat and a horse.
6-shooter.
Yeah.
There you go.
Damn right, I would.
And get a cards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love that. That would be so much fun. You can do that. There's like places you can
shots.
go to. Yeah. In the bar with my nice pink plaid top on. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Ordering some sarsaparilla.
Yeah.
There you go.
That would be so much fun. I saw, what did we watch the other day? I watched a film the other day, and that was like really Wild West, and it was rubbish, but it was we were saying that when we were watching it. It would be quite good fun to go and do one of those Wild West weekends where you can go and either be like the cowboys or you can go and be the Indians, and you can do the whole theme fighting. That would be good fun.
Would you do Did you watch Westworld? Either of you?
Westworld.
I've seen an episode here or there. I have not watched it full stop.
No, what's that?
It was a show on HBO.
Uh-huh.
I guess it would have been on Sky Atlantic where you are.
Yeah.
And it was where rich people would go and they would like live out like a weekend or a week in Westworld, which was this like amusement park that was set in the Wild West, and they had basically all these like robots, androids that played the parts of characters, and they act like humans, and they they're very human. Yeah, so you can go out there and you can do whatever you want, and you could be you can be a good cowboy, you can be a bad cowboy.
Yeah, I'd be a bad one.
I know you would.
Yeah. The goodies don't ever get the fun. It's always the baddies. In the panto and all that kind of stuff, it's always the baddies that always get the most fun parts. So you've got to go with the baddies. Maleficent. See, I was unhappy when they turned Maleficent to like good, because I've grown up with Maleficent being bad.
When did she turn good?
She did. Like in the last film, they explain why she's so angry all the time.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should watch the films.
Then everyone starts loving Maleficent, and like, no, she's a baddie. She's always been
dumb.
The baddie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it when they give the baddies a backstory, and it's all sad, and now you know why they're so evil.
No.
They're just evil. They're just fun.
Why? Yeah. Why can't they be evil to be evil? Like,
yeah.
That's the studio giving notes. That's what that is.
Yeah. I just like the baddies. The baddies are always the best ones to play. We'll let you do, as you're our guest today, we'll let you do number 12. You can have the honor of the 12th murder of Christmas.
The 12th murder of Christmas. Okay. So it was Christmas Eve, the year of 2004, in a small city west of, or I say west because I'm used to hearing about West Covina. Covina, just outside of LA. So there were parties going on all about, and the address was 1129 East Knoll Crest Drive. There were about 25 close friends and family enjoying each other's company. And then at about 11:30, there was a knock at the door. And, I mean, that sounds like a horror movie right there.
Yeah, it does.
The door, right? So, on the other side of the door, I mean, it is Christmas Eve, so who would you expect? Santa Claus, right?
Santa Claus.
So, yeah, that's what the 8-year-old girl who answered the door thought, but it wasn't. It was a guy named Bruce Jeffrey Pardo. And he was the very violent and unhinged ex-husband of a lady at the party. Oh. He had a 9mm pistol in one hand and a flamethrower in the other.
This sounds like Die Hard. This is a Die Hard episode.
those things go together, easy to both wield at the same time.
Yeah.
He also had an additional 3 handguns in his possession. So, unfortunately, cruelly and methodically, he went through this party, shooting everybody that he saw before setting the house on fire.
Whoa.
And so in total, there would be 9 that would die due to this. 3 would be badly injured. He left and drove to his brother's house 30 miles away, where he had planned to detonate a series of handmade explosives.
Jeez.
And then make his way north to Canada.
Whoa.
But the fire that he had set had caused his Santa suit to melt onto him.
No.
Oh my God, you couldn't write this.
You deserve that, buddy.
Yeah.
Which caused severe 3rd-degree burns. So instead, he ended up putting a bullet in his own head.
Whoa.
But, yeah, so melted.
Melted Santa.
Flamethrower melted the suit. Ish.
I don't even know where
I guess we know. I was going to say, I guess we know what's going to happen at the end of Santa, maybe. Yeah, obvious.
Richie's going to go in with a flamethrower and bust Santa out of jail. and they're going to ride off back to the North Pole and live happily ever after. And Richie's going to be head elf.
That's great.
Oh, that's so funny. Wow, what a crazy bunch of things to happen all at Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If I can say something real quick, and I won't go into this in depth because you both can look into it. It's a pretty crazy case. Have you heard about the Santa Claus murders here in Santa Claus, Georgia?
No.
I bring this up because in Santa Maybe, the county that I never reference a town by name, but the county that I reference is Screven County, Georgia. Okay. Now in Screven County there is a town called Santa Claus, Georgia.
No way.
And if you listen to the trailer of Santa Maybe, a Criminal, where it says when Richie goes to travel to the North Pole and he puts on the GPS, it says your X number of miles, like that strand of miles is correct from Santa Claus, Georgia to the North Pole.
Oh.
Except for I added 8675309 at the end of it.
Yeah.
X of it, point X, because it's funny to me. But anyhow, so in Santa Claus, Georgia, there was a pretty horrific murder by a guy named Jerry Heidler, I think was his name. Jerry Heidler, and he ended up killing a couple, Kim and Danny Daniels, and two of their children who were 6 and 16. Aww. And then I believe, if I remember correctly, he ended up kidnapping another child that was like a cousin or something of the family. I don't have all the details in front of me, but it's an interesting story to sort of look at. And again, like I didn't want to mention Santa Claus, Georgia specifically in the podcast. Because we have been traumatized by a real crime.
Yeah.
But it's sort of if you look up Screven County, Georgia, then you would look up, you'd see that Santa Claus, Georgia is there, and then you would look up and see what's, and so then you could find. So it's kind of, I drop a lot of little Easter eggs like that in the show for people that if they kind of look into it, they might see that and see some of these real stories. And
I love that insider info. That's very exciting. Yeah. So these little clever little things.
Absolutely.
I love how they have it listed, Santa Claus City Hall. I'm looking at that now.
Yep. Yeah, it's cool, man. It's a neat little place. I need to go over there and just do like an Instagram live or something.
Yeah. So do they maximize the fact that it's called Santa Claus? Do they have a lot of Santa stuff there?
Yeah, they do. Okay.
They do. That's quite cool.
Street names and all sorts of stuff are Christmas themed. It's a very small town, but yeah.
That's so sweet. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that. All the street names are something Christmas related. There's Candy Cane Street. There's Dasher Street, Dancer Street.
That's
Noel
so cute.
Street,
I love that.
Sleigh Street. Street.
I love that. That's brilliant. How sweet. What a lovely idea. That's really nice.
Yeah.
But then you'd have to go to Santa Claus, Georgia to see all this.
That's true.
Well,
you can come hang out with me afterwards. It's only like
there you go. I was going to say, that's quite fun. We could go and do some visiting. Yeah. That would be quite cool. That's another place to add to the list.
That's right.
We want to do like a massive tour and do loads of live episodes in loads of different places.
Absolutely.
That would be so much fun.
So do a live episode in Santa Claus, Georgia?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Well, you can do it in Savannah. So I'm in Savannah, and the Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil is. If you've heard that story, that book.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that's the most historic case here. But there have been a lot of different murders, things here that are lesser known that deserve some of the spotlight. But yeah, the Jim Williams one from Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil is the one that this town's most known for.
I like to look into more historic cases purely, I think, because when you've got more recent cases, family members are there to champion, to keep things going. But when you've got a really historic case, it's almost like people have forgotten about it then. And I think the one that we did last week that was from like 1939 or whenever it's from, I think, well, like they've got no children. He's now dead anyway, the husband, but nobody knows who killed the wife and nobody's sort of still champion for her. And I think it's really sad when it comes to something like that, because it's kind of just forgotten because they're forgotten and their families are all gone. I think it's quite sad. So I quite like the older cases. Yeah. So would you like me to give you a nice Christmas-themed dumb criminal for this week?
Of course.
I think it'll be quite good fun for you.
Of course.
Hey, Captain Stupid Poopy Pants. Use a dummy.
Okay, so I've got a Christmas-themed dumb criminal for you this week. So Christmas time is usually the time for good tidings, but in this case, this is a story of a couple of Scrooges. Now, these are two Grinches. They're women aged 18 and 34 from Sweetwater in Florida, and they stole over $400 worth of Christmas decorations from their neighbor.
What?
Yeah, from their neighbor. Yeah, but not only that, they then went home and put up all those stolen decorations in their front yard. No, because the value of the decorations was like $400. The women were charged with grand theft. And the reason that they were so expensive was because they were Mickey Mouse decorations. So they stole Mickey Mouse on a horse, they stole hugging penguins, Snoopy on a doghouse, and Santa on a sled, amongst other stuff. But yeah, they got charged with grand theft, and they had to give back all the decorations to the neighbor.
How did they not know they were going to get caught? It's like...
Why would you do that? Why?
That's amazing. My goodness.
Not only do you steal from a neighbor, but you then go and put all those stolen goods up in your own house right next door.
Things that are very... identifiable, right? It's not like you just took some lights and you put them up in your house. These things are obvious.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. How stupid. That's a fun
goodness.
one. That's a great dumb criminal.
Oh, God. That's a
naughty list.
Yeah, definitely on the naughty list.
Naughty list.
Which is where Morgan is also going to be for all his mischievousness this year.
No. That's good. Good.
Oh, we'll see. We'll find out at Christmas. See what you got.
Yeah, we will. You will.
You're getting coal, my friend. Coal. Oh, look at your face now. You look really sad. We'll put you on the nice list. I'm sure Santa's got you on the nice list.
Is the price of coal going up? Because I can hold on to that.
It's surging.
Yeah.
Look at the Instagram. It's surging. My Instagram's surging.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us this week, Jason. It's lovely to have you here.
My goodness, it was a blast.
Thank you
both so much
for
your allowing me to come on, for your support. I mean, for everything. You both are just definitely on the nice list.
Oh.
And as long as Morgan doesn't do anything untoward in the next 6 days, and
there's still time.
I sincerely appreciate just the opportunity and being able to interact with both of you.
Oh, it's lovely to have you. Thank you.
So all of our listeners, go and check out his podcast. Once again, Santa Maybe. And where can they get that? They can find it pretty much anywhere?
Yeah, anywhere. All the major podcast listening apps. If there's not one there, message me at Santa Maybe on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll get it up there. You can also go to santamaybe.com and check out things there. But yeah, I'd love to interact with more people on the social media. So if you want to come there and check it out, and then of course listen to the episodes, they're dropping every Friday until we're done with the 12, and then we'll see what happens after that. Exciting stuff.
Very excited.
I'm very excited. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us this week. You can catch us on all our socials as usual. We'll be on Instagram mostly. It will take you an age to get an answer out of us from Facebook. So get to us on Insta. That's usually where we're both hanging out. So that would be lovely. And from us, have an amazing Christmas. We will be back on the 29th with a Christmas party. We're going to be on YouTube. So we'll put the link out on our socials. But it's the 29th of December, 9 p.m. in the UK and 4 p.m. Eastern. We've got a Christmas party with some guests and some fun and some games and all sorts of mischief. So Christmas is over by then, so we can be mischievous.
Yes, we can.
It doesn't count to next year's list though, right? Does it? It doesn't start that until like January.
We'll start everything can start in January.
Perfect. So we can be as naughty as we want.
I have a direct line to Santa Claus, so I can talk him into that.
You can put in a good word for us too.
It's just raise heck the last week of the year.
Yeah, that's right. No one's going to know. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next on the 29th and have a lovely Christmas. And for now, be nice.
And bye.